Hi math class, great work yesterday finding the area for each problem. Don't forget when we're finding our area, we need to include our square units. Also great work writing your fractions. Don't forget that the parts that are shaded will be the top number in your fraction, and how many parts are in each unit will be the bottom number in your fraction. And great job writing an addition or multiplication problem. So keep up the awesome work. For today's lesson, we're going to be looking at lesson 63, and we're going to focus on parts 1 through 5. So let's look at part number 1. So for part 1, it tells us that these equations tell about the numbers you multiply and the numbers you add. So we're going to work on these problems. Remember, make a box right under the times signs and write the correct number for multiplying by 7 in that box. So I'll write it right over here. So for number 1, we have 47 equals 7 multiplied by a number plus a number. And then right underneath, we have a blank box. In this box, we're going to write what 7 multiplied by a number equals. That will help us determine what we need to add to figure out what number we need to add to get to 47. So there are more than one answer we can use, right? We can multiply 7 by 1, we can multiply 7 by 2, 3, 4. What I want us to focus on for this question is figure out 7 multiplied by what number will get us just under 47, right? We know that 7 multiplied by 7 is 49. 49 is bigger than 47, so it can't be 7. Let's try 6. So 7 multiplied by 6 will give us 42. 42 is less than 47, so that number will work. So right in this box, I'm going to write 42. Now I have to figure out what do I have to add to 42 to get to 47. Right, 42 plus 5 will give me 47. So then I'm going to add 5. Just like that. Right, we can use different numbers as well. For example, let me write this. If we wanted to do 7 multiplied by 5, right, that will give us a number less than 47. We can skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Right, so we know what 7 times 5 is 35. So I'm going to write that number in the box. Now I have to figure out what do I have to add to 35 to get to 47. Right, I need to add 12. So I'm going to put 12 in the box, just like that. So once again, guys, remember, whatever number you multiply by will change the number that you will add by. So now let's also look at part B. We'll do one more example, and then I want you guys to try the rest on your own. In part B, we have the equation 65 equals 9 multiplied by a number plus a number. And then underneath our multiplication sign, we'll put our box. We know that 9 multiplied by 8 is 72. That is a bigger number than 65, so that won't work. So let's try 9 multiplied by 7. Right? 9 multiplied by 7 will give us 63. 63 is less than 65, so that number will work. I'll put that number in the box underneath. And now, what do I have to add to 63 to get to 65? Right, 63, 64, 65, I have to add 2. So I'll put the 2 in the box, or in the space right over there. So once again, what we want to figure out is first, 9 multiplied by what number will get me really close to 65? And then what do I have to then add to that number to get to 65? Once again, you can have different answers depending on the numbers that you choose. So you can pause the video now, and please try working on parts C, D, and E on your own. And I'll see you in part 2. So welcome back, guys. For part 2, we're going to be looking at multiplication. It asks us to solve and to remember to show all of our work. So our problem for part A is we have a 3-digit number, 734, and we're multiplying it by a 2-digit number, which is 59. So our first step is going to be to look at this 9. And I'm going to multiply this 9 with all of the top numbers. I'm going to multiply the 9 with the 4, the 9 with the 3, and the 9 with the 7. Right, so 9 multiplied by 4 gives us 36. I'm going to put my 6 down here and carry over my 3. 9 multiplied by 3 is 27, plus the 3 that I carried over will give me 30. So I'm going to put my 0 down here and carry over my 3. 7 multiplied by 9 gives me 63. Then I still need to add the 3 that I carried over, so 64, 65, 66. And 66 will be my answer. If you want, you can add in your comma right before the 1,000. Now, using a different color, we're going to look at the next bottom number. So we're going to focus on this 5. But remember, since this 5 is in the tens category, we have to represent that by putting a 0 down here. So once again, this 0 represents that this 5 is really a 50 because the 5's in the tens. And now, just like I did with the 9, I'm going to multiply the 5 with the 3 top numbers. So 5 multiplied by 4 will give me 20. So I'm going to put my 0 down and carry over my 2. I can cross out this 3 from before and the other 3 so I don't get them confused. Now what I'm going to do is multiply this 5 and the 3, which is 15, and then I still have to add the 2 that I carried over, which will give me 17. So I'll put my 7 down here and carry my 1. Now what I have to do is multiply the 5 and the 7. Right, we can skip count by 5s 7 times, so we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. But I have to remember that I carried over that 1, so I have to add that 1, so 35, so 36. I'll write my 36, making sure to line up all of my place values. Right before my thousands, I will put in my comma. And now all I have to do is add these two numbers up. So I need to add my addition sign. Right? 6 plus 0 is 6. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 7 will give me 13. I'll put my 3 here, carry over my 1. 6 plus 1 will also give me 13. Put my 3, carry my 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. I'll add in my comma right before my 1,000. So our answer is 43,306. So once again, what we did is we looked at our bottom number, we looked at the 9, and multiplied it with the top 3 numbers. Then what we did is we looked at the 5. We had to remember that this 5 is in the tens column, so we added our 0, and then we multiplied the 5 by the top 3 numbers. Once we did that, we added these two numbers up, and we got our answer, which is 43,306. What I want you guys to do now is try to work on problem B. In problem B, you're going to be multiplying 379 by 67. You're going to use the exact same steps that we just did. So you can pause the video now, and then I'll see you in part 3. So welcome back to part 3. For part 3, we're going to be looking at price tag comparisons. So I'll read what it says in our book. There it is. For each of these problems, you'll make a number family for the two things that are compared, and then you need to solve. So I'll read the first question. Our first question says, Van bought the radio and still had $4.60. How much money did he start off with? So once again, we're looking at part 3 and question A. We need to make our number family. So it tells us in our question that Van bought the radio and still had $4.60. How much money did he start off with? We know that our difference number is going to be how much Van still had left, right? So I'm going to write diff, and the amount of money he had left is $4.60. It tells us that he bought the radio, right? The radio has to be our small number because Van still had money left over. So Van will be our big number. When we look at the image that I've attached, we can see that the radio cost $65.24. Once again, don't forget when we're dealing with money to add in your dollar signs and your decimals. Right? So now what we have to find is how much money did Van have, or how much money did he start off with if he bought the radio for $65.24 and still had $4.60 left. Right? The number we're trying to find comes after the arrow. This means that we're going to be looking for a big number. In order to find the big number, I'm going to need to add these two little numbers. Right, so we're going to add $65.24 and $4.60. I need my dollar signs, line up all of my decimals. Since we're adding, I need my addition sign. Once again, please remember to line up all of your place values. And now we can add. In my answer, I'm going to need a dollar sign, and I'm going to have to line up my decimals. 4 plus 0 gives me 4. 2 plus 6 will give me 8. 5 plus 4 gives me 9. And then 6 plus nothing gives me 6. So now we figured out how much money Van started off with. He started off with $69.84. And that is going to be our answer. Don't forget your dollar sign and your decimal. So we're done the number family for part A. You can pause the video now if you want to look at any of these steps. Make sure that each number is labeled and has a dollar sign. So now we're going to look at part B. In part B, it tells us that Jan needs $13.13 more than she has to buy the radio. And it's asking us in the question, how much money does Jan have? So let me draw this number family here. If we look in the question, we know this will be a difference problem because it has our keyword, which is bolded for us, right? That keyword is the word more. If we see any of those bolded keywords, that will automatically tell us that this will be a difference problem. And the number right beside the the number right beside the keyword will be our difference number, right? We have the number $13.13. It tells us that Jan still needs money to buy the radio. That tells us that the radio costs more than what Jan has. So the radio will be our big number. And Jan will be our small number. We don't know how much money Jan has, but we know the price of the radio. Right? If we look at the image that I've attached, it tells us that the radio cost $65.24. So what we have to figure out is how much money does Jan have? This is going to be our small number. So what we have to do is subtract these other two numbers. Right? So we're going to subtract $65.24 and $13.13. Don't forget, I need my dollar signs in my first number and in my answer. Make sure to line up all of my decimals. I need my subtraction sign because we are subtracting. And now we can subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Our decimals are lined up. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then 6 minus 1 is 5. So Jan has $52.11. So that's our answer. So I'm going to write it right up here. I'm going to remember to write my dollar sign and my decimal. just like that. You can pause the video now if you need to have a closer look. And don't forget on your sheet to label each of the numbers, and don't forget your dollar signs. You can pause the video now, and then please continue to work on problems C and D of part 3. Once again, you're going to be writing your difference numbers, your number families, sorry. So you can pause the video now, and then I'll see you in part 4. In part 4, we're doing multiplication practice. So we're going to continue to practice our times tables. So complete all of these questions for part 4. You can use your number family, you can use your timetable, or you can practice your skip counting. So you can pause the video now, and then I'll see you in our last part for today. In part 5, we're going to be practicing our fractions. So I'm going to write up the first question. So in part A, we have the whole number 6, and it's going to equal a fraction. What we don't know is the top number in this fraction. So the way we're going to find the top number is we're going to multiply these two numbers. We're going to multiply the whole number with the bottom number. So 6 multiplied by 5 will give us 30. So 30 will be the top number in our fraction. If we look at part B, we're going to use the exact same steps. We're missing the top number, we have the bottom number, and then we have the whole number that it equals, right? So our whole number is 4, and our bottom number is 3. Once again, to get our top number, we're going to multiply 4 multiplied by 3 will give us 12, right? So 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's the question. That's our answer. So now what I want you guys to do is pause the video and finish off C, D, E, and F. You guys have been doing such an awesome job this week. Keep it up, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Bye.